Namaskar. Hello and welcome to 𝗼𝗽𝗏 channel. We are back with our good generals. Today, General Dushyant Singh had another commitment, so he couldn't join, but we do have General Ravi Shankar and General Rajiv Narayanan. We're going to take a look at some things coming down the pipeline. What is going to come next? All that and more. First, please like this video from wherever you are watching, whether it is Claus or Ganashot or 𝗼𝗽𝗏. Thank you so much. Now, General Ravi Shankar, General Rajiv Narayanan, Namaskaram and welcome to 𝗼𝗽𝗏 channel.
Namaskaram. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. This is a very important topic, in my opinion. By the way, I don't know about you two gentlemen, but 𝗼𝗽𝗏 has been banned in Pakistan. I don't know.
Yeah, congratulations. I saw that. I saw that. Congratulations. It's a landmark achievement.
You have hit them close to their heart, and raw nerve has been touched.
Indeed,
I
indeed.
must
Very
also
true,
tell
very true.
no, I must also tell everyone in the same vein that all my YouTube channels are being decoded in China, and they're being translated and put in Mandarin. So yeah.
So they are panicking after 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗥𝗏𝗧 success, stupendous success, I guess. So I'm going to start, as always, with you, General Ravi Shankar, on Pakistan's internal collapse, whether it is internal, I mean, economically or militarily or socially. Right now, they are dealing with nuclear fallout. I don't know how many places they are having that nuclear fallout. They are General, you are viral on Chinese TikTok.
Yeah.
So basically, there is a huge problem for Pakistan. Now, if you look at just big mota numbers, right? The GDP of Pakistan is less than the GDP of Mumbai city. I mean, this was when the last time it was computed. So we are talking about a fragile economy, and I don't know why IMF gave them money. By the way, they also gave money to. They're about to give money to Bangladesh. There's a reason why they're giving to Bangladesh. I'll come to that in just a second. So your thoughts on what is the internal state of Pakistan today?
Look, internal state of Pakistan was bad before this. It's only worse after this. After the past 4 days of Op Sindoor. The action-packed days of Pak Sindoor. Reason. They've lost AEW aircraft. They've lost their radar systems. They've lost a whole lot of things. For 5 days, all their aircraft were up in the air. They didn't have fuel. So whatever they have got from IMF, I think has already been spent. So that's the first part of the story. Second, internally, there are already people started who, they're starting to talk of the Indus Water Treaty and the screws which is going to be turned on. And look, that's the longer game. Because this is a sowing season, kapas, rice. And if you don't have water and there's variability of water, right, and uncertainty of water availability, this is going to be very difficult. I think and if that happens, there's going to be mass unrest. And this is something which Pakistan can do very little about. That's the second major issue. Third, there are reports in media which says Balochistan has declared independence. How far it is true, not true, how much, is there a critical mass around that? One doesn't know. Because TTP and all is on a tangent of its own. So with this kind of a thing, there will come a time soon when there has to be some kind of a political finger pointing at each other. These things don't happen immediately. They'll take a little time, maybe 1 month, maybe 10 days, at times immediately. This is going to happen. So the future of Pakistan is not bright. Plus, they have to deal with this radiation leak and whatever it is. They also have to deal politically with USA and politically with China. And there's a major problem for China and Pakistan. Now that their air defense systems have found to be wanting, there are a lot of news to say that, look, Pakistan will go back to China for air defense systems and China will replace them. So you're replacing junk with junk.
Correct.
It doesn't make sense to put junk and and who's going to get this thing. And China also will now have this thing, scratch its brains. So I think internally Pakistan is in a bad shape, though they are externally projecting as if they've won the whole story. Their whole thing is about those 5 Rafales, non-existent Rafales, right? And so I think that's where it is as far as the internal thing. We'll talk about USA and China separately a little later and the implications.
Thank you so much, sir. Question for you, General Rajiv Narayanan. US policy shift. For the longest time, US was, wink, wink, nod, nod, supporting Pakistan because they needed them for Afghanistan and also to keep India in check. Now, with what happened and US also losing AWACS, probably some F-16s also got damaged because they happen to be on the hangar. Do you think United States will have to redo its strategy and take a clear pro-India stance? And this has a very big bearing on what is happening in Bangladesh, which I'll come to in a minute. Sir, over to you.
Your voice muted.
Sir, you're muted, sir. You're muted. Yes.
Yeah. My view is slightly different. For a long time, Trump in his first term, even Biden, and for a long time, this connection which used to be there, Indo-Pak, was broken to AF-Pak. For the first time under Trump, you have brought it back to Indo-Pak. When you equate a terror state with a democracy, then you don't know what you're doing. And then he threatened trade. What has been the result? 25% tariff straight slammed back on US on all steel and aluminium, which he had put in as of 1st of April it had started. 9th May, this is after Vance has spoken. I don't know what he has spoken. I don't think India liked it. The tariffs are on. It is a 30-day period for America to do what it wants. 9th of June, it falls. It comes in. Because as per WTO and GATT 94 laws, when you bring in such tariffs to countries, you got to discuss. You haven't discussed. Apart from that, there were 28 other products which have been tariffed by Trump. And along with this, WTO has been informed that if in these 30 days, America doesn't relook and discuss and stop, these 28 will also be hit. So much for his trade war threat. It's an open challenge to US that he made the biggest blunder of combining a democratically elected government with a terror sponsor. That it is a terror state is open after he has got this 1 billion tranche from IMF. 14 crores he is given. 14 crores he is giving to Masood Azhar family.
Yeah, Masood
14
Azhar
people here. Family lost, 1 crore per family. That is open admission that the Pak government is a terror government. And you are aligning with them. I don't think Trump has got this right, or even Vance has got this right, or State Department has got this right. I wonder where the DOD lies on this. With the thrashing that he has got, you were very scared earlier that the terrorists will get a nuke warhead or will have a radiological weapon available with them. In one stroke, you have sorted that out. Now, what is your reason to be with them? That means you have always been with them. You're not with me. When you do this, in the realignment, the world is going multipolar. You have given some breathing space to China. Everybody else. Now look at Quad. Forget America. How come Australia and Japan have not supported you? The only voice which has come from there is Taiwan. So that is the end of Quad. You will put it on the back burner. Who gains from this? China. What a lumphead Trump has been, pardon my language. On his ego for getting a Nobel Peace Prize, He hasn't understood the dynamics of what has happened. See, whether they like it or not, India is the new power in Asia and not China. I just got my daughter, who wouldn't agree to what me and General Shankar would be talking on China. Just half an hour ago, she has WhatsApped me, Papa, you both were right. I'm listening to this channel in the USA, and with facts and figures like what you were telling, they are telling what a problem China is in even before the trade war. Exactly what you are telling. I'm sorry, but you have been right. I was wrong. This is the problem in China. Now, if he has to replace it, as it is, he's having a problem. What is he going to replace it with? Firstly, he's got to relook his own air defense system completely. Because you didn't just destroy them, you jammed them and destroyed them. Even the Americans have to look at their air defense radars, which were there in around Sargodha, Kirana and other places. You jammed them and destroyed them. They were jammed. Now that is something telling. So as I look at it, America now suddenly under Trump will find it very, very difficult of how to see. There is Russia there, there is India there. Now Taiwan will have second thoughts on what Americans are offering them. And I'm sure it is not lost on Japan and Australia also.
And South Korea too.
And
Yeah.
everyone.
That if you want something, get the Indians on board, get the Russians on board. S-400. Now S-500 he wants to jointly make with you. He's given you the offer again. Okay. So, and who will buy the American weapons now? Why will I buy? See, the background to why they got against Rafale was about a week after Pahalgam, after much tarrying, the Russians, the French handed you the source code of Rafale. So you can do the upgrades yourself. You can mate your own systems and subsystems to the aircraft. You can mate your weapons to the aircraft. Our media didn't pick it up. There was furor in US and the West that the French have sold out.
No, even Russians to that extent. Even Russians were upset.
Russians also gave you, because of the Ukraine war, upgrade you're doing for Soos, the upgrades you're doing and to MiG-29 is because he's given you the source code quietly. So you have the source code for the Soos and MiG-29s, you have the source code for Rafale. Then I think 2 or 3 days after that, he said that the MRO is going to be established in India.
Yeah.
That means whole lot of parts are going to be made in India. They're separately getting into a JV. They've not mentioned which is this company. I'm sure it may be either Tata's or Mahindra's or Ambani, Adag, that is Anil Ambani, who's been making fuselage for Boeing for almost 10-15 years now. That once this is put in place, thereafter all fuselage for Dassault Aviation will be sourced from India. You think the US, UK, Germany and all will like it? You become the new arms player in the world, which they were controlling. You come up. I'm sure heart of heart the Russians would also be a bit worried.
You see, let me add to what he's saying. You see, it's the same thing. Why is Trump squeezing China? Just think. China produces, can't consume. USA consumes. Okay. So you have the power of consumption of arms. So you can squeeze the world. You know, the same logic.
And the other part, economically, your internal consumption is over 60%.
60%.
So you're not dependent on any external market. If you have set up factories here, you'll consume yourself. So
that, you know,
America is up a gum tree now for bringing in trade and trying to say I'm going to squeeze trade for ceasefire. He has got himself in a cul-de-sac, painted himself in a corner.
He's made a very important point. You know, this 𝗖𝗡𝗄, who's a Chinese chap who's sitting in, USA. He's written, he says, look, Korea, Japan, and China, they were producing economies. And the consumption economy was USA. So USA could squeeze these three and make them play their tune. But when India comes up, USA can't do it because India consumes itself. So the handle for USA to squeeze India is not there. In any case, USA never had a handle. If you see our history, beyond a point, USA never had a handle. Okay. So now, the point is, I think we have to be very clear and categoric as to how we have to handle USA. And how USA will come around. USA has to decide whether it's a superpower which backs terrorists or not. Suddenly, it's very funny that the American people are, talking what the leftists in America were talking earlier. There's a right government, we're talking. So that means the deep state is still alive.
Yes.
The deep state is still alive. These are not all the nonsense which Mr. Trump spoke. You have to take it with a pinch of salt. The deep state is still alive.
Vance is from the deep state, by the way.
Yeah.
Out of the blue, he came. Vance is from there. No, that apart. Now,
what
because
John Thiel or something like that. John Thiel or something like that.
Because
Peter
all
Thiel,
this has
Peter Thiel.
happened, I feel
Peter
we have
Thiel,
to. That is why the PM said that Sindoor is not over.
Over, yeah.
It's not over. It's not over. Because something or the other will be instigated by US and China for the Pakis to do. And then try to say that, no, I am going to step in again. Something they will try. Now, whether the land forces come or whether they use a terrorist strike, Fedayeen strike, internal strike, something will be instigated.
And PM also was very categoric in putting things across. He says the talk will be between India and Pakistan, bilateral. And talks will be only on terror and POK.
When they will hand over POK.
POK. Okay. So he's laid his red lines very clearly. So it's up to now for Trump and company to consider whether they can go ahead with this thing that they'll do a talk somewhere in a neutral place and all that nonsense that they're talking. I think that's been squashed completely.
3 clear lines he has said. Terror and talks don't go hand to hand. Terror and trade will not take place. And blood and water don't flow together. Now, today, by giving 14 crores from that tranche that they have got to Masood Azhar's family, Masood Azhar, for having lost 14, it was actually 10 members and 4 of his students who died. They've counted all of them as part of Masood Azhar and giving him 14 crores. It's open. It's a terroristan. Or you can say terror state of Pakistan. I call it terroristan. There is no difference. So some people saying that they might likely be a coup and the other chap will be sensible. Sensible? Pakistan? Forget it.
Forget it. Just forget it.
They have a death wish.
Yeah.
They have a death wish for the 72 horse.
Let's talk of China.
Yeah, so I have a question about China. So China has invested in CPEC, and also they have basically bought a lot of things from Pakistan. Their airports, their seaports, I think even their railway stations, whatever that they could find something tangible where some income was coming, they seem to have acquired that. At this point of time, what do you think China is thinking? Sir, to you, General Ravi Shankar, then I'll ask you the same question, General Rajiv.
Yeah. Look, from China, there are 2 streams started coming out. Till about yesterday, they were only talking of, how Pakistan has defeated India and how Pakistan has suddenly come up with hypersonic missiles to attack India. How Chinese equipment has performed in the hands of Pakistanis, and then this changes the equation in the Taiwan scenario and global scenario and all that. But now I think they will sense this opportunity. In fact, this issue of what Rajiv Narayanan was talking of, tariffs and all that, and that we've gone to WTO and said, we've protested against officially that's the route we are taking. Protested against the, tariff on steel and things like that. That's now hit the headlines in 𝗤𝗘𝗙𝗏. It's the first. Okay? They sense this break. That's the first one. They also realize that, look, they can't afford to have India on, US side. So they are in a fix at this point of time. Don't be surprised if they grow a bit cold on Pakistan. They're also worried about the fact that their equipment has not functioned well. They would also be worried that, look, I have to adopt a defensive posture on the LAC. I don't think they have any offensive capability, at least for some time. The things which have happened with Pakistan, especially the air defense, rules out Pakistan, or rather, rules out any Chinese offensive capability. At least till the time these things are eradicated for the next 3 to 4 years. And China's economy is internally bad. BAD in as big capitals as you can. And that's what General Rajiv Narayanan was saying. When we've been talking of it for a long time, but now it's catalyzed. So China is on the horns of a dilemma internally. China is on the horns of a dilemma externally. And more important, Xi Jinping recently went to Russia. If you see what's the commentary coming out from there, it's very interesting. What did Putin tell Xi Jinping? Putin told Xi Jinping, come and set up factories here and I'll consume that. Jobs will come to Russia and all that. And I'll give you grain and I'll give you petrol. This is the deal which Putin wants. He is not prepared to buy anything from China which is not produced in Russia. Okay. And the Chinese are worried. The Chinese are worried about this because if Chinese go and set up factories, and tomorrow Putin does what USA did to Putin, that is, confiscate all the factories, then where does China go? And then Putin also, if he stops the grain supply and the fuel supply, China is a country, right? So he's not had a good deal with USA at all. Russia at all. There's no great announcement, no nothing. He went, attended the victory parade, a lot of red carpet and all, and he came back. So overall, their situation is not good. But they can't let go of Pakistan. Like you rightly said, all this, CPEC, this, that, $62 billion. They have people there. What happens tomorrow if they get hit? The safety and security of, and if there is chaos in Pakistan, as we are talking, Balochistan, whatever, CPEC is an open sore. So I think China is in a tough position. It is not coming out officially, but if you read China between the lines, it's coming out loud and clear. So I think we're going to see some interesting times. We need to play our cards well in this time. Let me put a rider on us. We need to know how to deal with China and USA because you're dealing with them on equal footing. And in this, I think we also have to play our cards well with Russia and France and Israel. Each of them, Israel, I'm qualifying, Israel, Russia and France. Each of them have deep reasons to side us. They might not side you politically, right? Completely. But in all other cases, they will side with you. Of course, Israel will side with you in all cases. On that, let's not have doubts. In fact, there is some rumor floating around that, it was not India who hit Kirana Hills. In the garb of all this, Israel come and done some strike and gone. I saw some commentary somewhere. So all this, right? But Russia will be critical for us. How do we play Russia? So Putin's trip to India, or which is slated to happen next month, is going to be very critical. So I think we have to step up our game. We have to step up our game, and we also have to step up our game militarily in terms of going more deeper into Atmanirbharta, which means you need to put more on your defense expenditure. Okay, that's one. Number two, I think this was a great opportunity for us to put our theater commands in place. Now you don't know what's happened, how the three chiefs and the CDS did everything. So you have in this whole story a structure for a theater command. For long, I've been saying the Western front is no more Pakistan. The Western front is Pakistan and North Arabian Sea. And that is coming true now. So I think we need to do a rethink on it ourselves. The Northern front, there's no doubt. Because the entire maritime front, which is the larger part of Indian Ocean region, and the North Arabian Sea and what it concerns China, Pakistan is a little different. You can't hyphenate both. Okay, so I think we'll have to do some internal soul searching to find new ways, and I think there is some talk going on in this direction as to how this will happen. So let's see.
General Rajiv Narayanan, your thoughts?
Yes. So I will start from where he ended. So it is not just Western Front and the North Arabian Sea. I would say Northern Front and North Bay of Bengal also.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Bangladesh
I go with you.
And then have a maritime thing. So now I'm looking at it more like what is going to happen geoeconomically now. Despite all what Trump is saying, I have always been saying from the time Trump came in that the Wall Street is not on the same page with him. During COVID and post-COVID, what was being spoken of was China plus one, when they tried to do their reshoring and friendshoring and other things. But now I think that China factor in plus one is gone. And you find Vietnam, Indonesia, India coming up in a big way. And like I had mentioned earlier, a lot of these companies are coming into the tier 2 and tier 3 cities to avoid detection. The moment you come to a metro or a tier 1 city, you're observed. There is office open. You go to a tier 2 or a tier 3 city, you never get to know. Like let us say in Chennai, you go to 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 and set up an office there, or you go to Trichy and you set up office there. It doesn't come into the limelight. It doesn't come into the limelight. That is what they're doing. And setting up their plants. And the latest has been, apart from the fab plants that were coming in, HCL and Foxconn have signed the agreement finally, and they're going to establish their chip plant here. So now everything is shifting. A lot of it from China is shifting here. There is a reason. These people had volumes in China. They know that if we keep that same volume in India, bulk of that will be consumed in India. It's only 30-40% that you need to export, which is what Chinese exports are today. About 30-40%. Chinese economy is totally tanked at the moment. Totally tanked. Today morning I was reading a report that there are a few billionaires who have become paupers and they're living in tent cities. They have come into tent cities. So this meeting between India and Russia, Modi and Putin, the international media is going to be focused on it with a microscope. This is what will dictate the future of the global order.
And now, one minute, Rajiv. What you said earlier about the semiconductors, I just want to add a bit. There's this RISA Electronics from Japan. They want to set up a fab here for 3 nanometer chips. And this has got headlines in 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. So there's something serious shift which Rajiv is saying is happening. Yeah, please, sorry.
So the China plus one is over, 𝗑𝗙𝗍. I say it will be more India plus one. And both Pakistan and Bangladesh have missed the bus. If Nepal plays properly, Sri Lanka and
Sri Lanka.
Maldives play their cards, they will benefit. Bangladesh and Pakistan have cooked their chips. That's over, because again the Americans are playing the hardliners there. Their special forces have landed, and the next tranche of IMF is going there. I'll stick my neck out. The tranches of IMF is not a free lunch. Up and down the order, countries who have taken it, IMF people, and even the countries' big bosses will take their cut from that. What comes to the people is going to be a pittance. Everybody knows that Mr. Yunus used to launder the money for the Clintons, and he was the biggest investor or rather contributor to the Clinton Fund.
In Clinton Foundation.
Now, what does he have that he can give? Nothing. It is the money comes from there and he's giving it back there. He's laundering the money and taking his cut. Exactly the same will happen to the IMF. I'm sorry to say that is what it has happened now. So these two have missed the bus. US is actually on the borderline. Where does it go? I had been talking that this tariff war is an excellent thing to pull out something to US, to get something into India and get to see what that I buy from you, you buy from me. That's all 𝗑𝗙𝗍 after what he has done. It's gone. And Trump being having such a king-sized ego, for the next 3 years it's gone. And 3 years is a long time when the churning has already started. People are already talking all over of the new power in Asia which has come up, which provides the range, depth, scope, everything. And what they have mentioned indirectly, hinting at China, and that it is a democracy. So now America has to think, and I think at the moment what we should look at is sideline the hierarchy there, target the Wall Street. Target the Wall Street. Wall Street will play ball. They're already playing ball. They'll play ball with you. Amongst all these, the hedge funds have not moved out. Vanguard, State Street, BlackRock, they have not moved out from India. They have some of their biggest investments here. That tells you that the Trump administration somewhere has lost track. In his quest for Nobel Peace Prize, he has lost the wood for the trees.
Actually, the past 4 days,
General,
4-5 days.
yeah.
And nowhere it has worked.
Interesting.
He said, I will sort out Ukraine, 0. I will sort out Gaza, 0. I will sort out Indo-Pak, 0. Nowhere he has succeeded.
Something interesting happened in the last couple of days. The United States has gone and occupied the St. Martin's Island off of the coast of Bangladesh. Now, this is something that was rather sudden. Nobody seemed to have known about it. I came to know about it. I thought I would like to have your inputs. Did India know that they were going to do this?
I'm sure they would be having an indicator. Because I knew that the special forces had landed even while we were attacking them. On 10th, right. The special forces have landed in Bangladesh. Even as the special forces landed in Pak, apart from the specialists who counter the radiation leaks, special forces have landed in Pakistan. To support them, they're going to squeeze them. At one point in time, they had about 10-11 bases in Pakistan. I'm just waiting, like I said earlier, for the day when the people who claim, that is what in the net, like Gen Shankar had said, that Balochistan has claimed independence. All they need to do for acceptance from the current US dispensation is give them 𝗣𝗘𝗙𝗍𝗍.
They'll give Oslo,
and it will be recognized.
Balochistan.
Yeah, Balochistan.
Correct. 𝗣𝗘𝗙𝗍𝗍 is in
Balochistan has declared independence. 𝗣𝗘𝗙𝗍𝗍 is in Balochistan. So you just say, take 𝗣𝗘𝗙𝗍𝗍, we give it to you. And the hey presto, within 2 days, US will recognize Balochistan.
Balochistan. So, it's going to be quite a tumultuous period. I mean, let's be very clear. This is a danger which faces us also, I must add. We shouldn't go overboard in whatever has happened, in this op Sindoor so far. We shouldn't go around डिंडोरा पीटते हुए हमने इसको मार दिया मार दिया मार दिया मार दिया तो मार दिया यार, खत्म हो गया कहानी. The thing is ahead. You have to look at the long term. I mean, we have to realize no military victory against Pakistan armed forces has brought you peace. Never. You name it. Pakistan army does not get defeated militarily. The history is that Pakistan army, if at all, has been defeated, it has been left on the sidelines when Article 370 was abrogated. It didn't know what to do because it was a political strike. Similarly, in this, the political strike is IWT. The political strike is IWT, and which has to be followed by your geoeconomic strike. You have to transcend into the next level of geoeconomics to put Pakistan on the tenterhooks. That's the challenge with us.
So, yes, I tend to agree with General Shankar. Pakistan army knows only their kinetic and hybrid warfare systems, which is use of non-state, I won't call them non-state actors, use of state actors, to put it bluntly. They're state actors. That is why I've been saying that this warfare, which has been started this time by India, don't look at it only from the window of or the prism of Op Sindoor. It's a multi-domain warfare which has been opened up. Your trade has stopped, so he's going to pay almost about 4 to 5 times to source it from some other country, which he doesn't have.
And that's going to, he doesn't have that. The zero.
Zero. Water is not there. He's a totally about 80% is agricultural economy. It's over. All these lalas who sit there and make the decision makers are actually landlords. Even the army is a landlord. There's no water in their khet. That is the end of their money. What will he do? The biggest export from Pakistan is cotton. And cotton, as you know, needs more water than rice. Rice itself is a water guzzler. Today, as we speak, Ravi, Satluj, Beas and Chenab are bone dry. And Chenab you flood or stop at will under the garb of desilting of your dam. And I give another year or two, Jhelum will also go dry. Another 4 years, Indus will start going dry. What is he going to do? There is no answer that the Pak army has. Because it is, like he said, it is not a military solution.
Yeah, there's no way.
You go multi-domain, it is whole of government. There is no government in Pakistan. There never has been. It has always been the army militants.
He can't attack you. What he says, no, it's an act of war. So what if it's an act of war? Do jo karna hai, kar lo yaar.
What will he do? He says he will blow up the dams with what? Stones. So this is a situation. That is why I say you got to have your guard up, and that is why the PM had said the Op Sindoor is not over. Some people were postmates and others were telling, season 1 is over, let's wait for season 2. I said, no, there's nothing called season 1, season 2. The season 1 is still on. Because this is a snake. Even if you cut the head of the snake for next 15 minutes, you got to be careful because it keeps moving its head and it can strike you and it can still inject poison in you. A dead snake's head. So you got to be careful. Like I said, he is going to try. Will he try land? But he has always tried his state actors and the state actors who are inside India.
Actually, that's the problem. To be very honest, that's the issue. Today, look, You already told him that any act of terror is an act of war, and you'll hit him. Okay, so why would he use all those chaps sitting there? He'll be a fool to do it. So if he can't do that, he can't do conventionally. China can't help him. USA will never help him in this. In all of these things. So what is his choice? His choice is to activate internally his sleeper cells in India. I mean, these are not even sleeper cells. These are cells which are wide awake and active. I mean, you see, indications of that. Open social media, the way they talk and everything. I mean, some of these guys are who are for Pakistan or siding Pakistan. They come out openly. They question openly. So I think that's the danger. I think we have to start looking parallelly internally. And what we have to do internally, we know what to do. It's not as if we don't know. And look, let me also qualify what I'm saying. I'm not, I don't have any political affiliation. I don't have any, leaning towards a particular religion, caste, or creed. I'm looking at it purely from a professional military point of view. And sensibly, this is it. The danger today, more as we go along, probably for the next 5-6 months, the danger is internal. And that's what we have to condition.
So in this whole game plan, suddenly Turkey and Azerbaijan suddenly find themselves holding the wrong end of the stick. Because all our traders and import and export people are ganging up together, even certain tourism sites and all, cutting off everything from Turkey. For us, it doesn't amount to much. For them, it amounts to hell of a lot. For them, it amounts to hell of a lot. And now the push has come that in a few of our big metro airports, there is a Turkish company which is handling the security.
Corendon.
No, salary, something
Corendon.
Sir, Corendon. And push has come against Indigo because they have code sharing with Turkish Airlines and they have wet lease with this Corendon company for aircrafts. So all these, once it goes off and somebody has listed the list of companies, like we had given I think for some contract for shipbuilding something that has been terminated. So ultimately they are suddenly going to find out that you try and play religion card, you're going to get hit so badly today. Already the Turkish tourism department is openly begging for mercy and saying, please don't cancel. Targeted at Indians. Forgive us, forgive our government, please don't cancel. It's too little, too late.
Sir, Indians would be stupid to go to Turkey at least for another year because the rascals are the same. They'll say, go tell Modi. If you say, this plate has...
But they are, like we said, like he was mentioning, we have people in India, these people will go. There are already a couple of voices coming on Twitter saying, no, if I get a chance, I'll go to Turkey. That is already there. But the bulk, let us say a few hundred tourists going there has no meaning. You are the third largest tourist bloc which used to go to Turkey. So we should do a China on that.
And Turkey, the economy is bad.
Very
bad. Geopolitics is also bad. You see, I mean, something very funny. I'm going to connect it from somewhere to somewhere. Trump went to Saudi Arabia. Whom did he meet there? The 𝗟𝗡𝗙𝗆 character. Who was that?
Syria president.
Syria. 𝗟𝗡𝗙𝗆𝗆 chap. Okay. He's met him there.
Julani.
And Al-Julani. Right? He's met him there and he's now started taking direct. So he's cutting Turkey off. So Turkey's position locally is also not great. So, I think we have to handle Turkey better, with a little more, clarity of our mind as to what we need to do with Turkey. Look, let me also put it across. We have a positive trade balance with Turkey, incidentally. Okay. It is not as if we're going to just say Turkey goodbye. Let them come. You don't buy theirs. Because I think what we are giving them is something which they don't have a replacement for. You see, Turkey is also an alternate medical center for a lot of people who come from Europe to, for part of their medical tourism, and they market it well. The Turks have brains in that. We must understand that. But they need equipment and medicines from here. They have no choice but to take ours. But we have a lot of choice not to take theirs. Right? So this differential is something which we have to play. All what General Rajiv was saying about, wet leasing aircraft and other things where you are dependent on Turkey, your tourism, all that, slam it down. I think we need to take some very clear-cut ideas.
Reduce the slots that you give to Turkish Airlines and to India. Simple.
Finished. Simple. Don't let them come.
No, I'm not saying
that we have a lot of questions.
As per international air traffic rules, you can't do that. Reduce the slots.
No, reduce the slots.
That's it. I would rather say you shift your code sharing towards Emirates, Etihad, Saudi. You shift it that side. Why go to Turkey at all? Now that you have he's done a deal with Saudi and the Abraham Accord and all is there. Earlier, you needed to go to Turkey to get into Israel. Other than taking the L Air, which is flying, if you didn't want to take that L Air, you had to go via Turkey. Quit them. Take Jordan. Jordan Airlines also. Jordan also has its flights. There are multiple options for you to. Suddenly, you will find that if you're not, and tell the other airlines that if you're coming via Istanbul. Now, Istanbul airport is a huge airport. We will have to relook how many slots we give you. Automatically, they will start cutting the slots. That's the end of Istanbul being a big gateway. The ways and means to
Let's take some questions now.
Yes.
Sure.
Sorry about that. We have a lot of questions to go through. We're going to try and see how many we can go through. Gaurav Yadav, thank you so much for becoming Gunner Shot YouTube member. Actually, he gifted 10 Gunner Shot memberships. A9 Akash has become a YouTube member. Thank you so much, A9 Akash. Agni-Punk became a YouTube member. Thank you so much. Agni-Punk has also given a donation. Thank you so much. Amit Ajit Singh, thank you so much for your super sticker. Thank you, Sajid Kumar. How long will it take Pak to install and get its ADS and radars ready, assuming China freely hands it to them?
No free lunches as far as China is concerned. You've destroyed their command, control, and communication systems. It's not just getting ADs and radars. How do you start laying out your communication and operational centers? You've destroyed all operational centers also. That's all gone. Like Reuters and others say, you hit a hangar. It's not that you just hit any hangar. You hit the daily maintenance and their maintenance on overall hangar. That has been destroyed. This comes with a whole lot of equipment. It comes, some of the well-trained manpower would also have been there. It's all gone. Now you've got to reset all that. How do you get your MRO for those radars and air defense guns back in? It's not easy. And China will be worried that if we have destroyed everything, his own AD along the eastern coast is up to question. They were thinking they will do wonders in Taiwan. That itself has come under a huge question mark today. What can he do to Taiwan?
Next question again from Sajid Kumar. Can't Pak beg 100 Dongfeng hypersonic missiles from China, nuclear tip them, and threaten India with launch? No ADS, I guess, can stop hypersonic?
No. Yeah, good.
Like, it's nice fictional conjecture. beg. Why will China give? Nuclear tip with what? He doesn't have any nuclear warheads today. So nuclear tip with what? And you threaten China with launch. I have my air defense which can shoot down hypersonic. And now when I'm making my S-400s in India, that is hypersonic to 10 Mach. You get it? I'll shoot it down at 600 meters range over your country itself. And your fallout will be on your country. What do you do? So it's not so simple and straight. Fictional, yes. Hollywood, Bollywood, yes.
100 missiles which are nuclear tipped means 100 nuclear warheads. That's not the annual production of China. China doesn't have the capability of more than 100. You think China will give 100 nuclear warheads to Pakistan? So there are deeper issues in this.
Next one from Madleon81. Why don't we expose US control of Pak nukes media?
That's a narrative, sir, I have said. Don't get carried away. It is hidden in there. If you see that China, this thing, some Ms. something media, that's a Chinese narrative, please. The entire nuke factory of China, Pakistan has been made by China, not US. Yes, they looked the other way. So don't fall into that narrative of China trying to wash its hands that it's not me who gave them the nukes, it's the Americans. No, it's not like that. Some say, no, it is not Paki's nuke, it is Americans who have kept the nukes there. Good story.
Deep Narayan wants to know, thank you, Deep. Your thoughts on Bangladesh, Pak, and China nexus?
Oh, no, I would rather be Bangladesh, Pak, and US nexus. Let's look at that. China is out of the picture. It is their nexus to look at China. St. Martin's occupied, they are there. He's giving him this. So you have towards the east also, you got to be careful about. That's why I said the northern front should also have the northern Bay of Bengal maritime domain.
Next one, please. Proud Hindu, thank you so much. Will this pact with US delay engines for Tejas again? What is India's plan B?
To some extent, yes. Some extent, yes.
Kaveri?
To some extent, yes. But you have alternates. You go back to France. Ask France to step in. You ask Russia. So it's not going to be easy for US also to pull out. Look, this is not a complete break of relations with USA. This is a spat. Okay, it's a spat. It will last 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. Sooner or later, they'll realize, yaar, without India, hamara to chalta nahi hai. So he'll have to come back to you. So just be patient about it. You have to play your cards well.
I'll tell you one thing about the Quad. When you were offered by the British and the Italians the 6th generation aircraft to join GMCA, who was objecting to it? Japan. Whose voice was Japan? USA's. They didn't want you to go to Europe for that. They would have preferred that they will make it and you buy it. Because if you join that, then you are making it yourself. You're not buying it. And what has happened now? It's not because of Op Sindoor. Just before that, Japan has offered you. Please join. See the shift in dynamics that is taking place.
Indian Nomad, thank you so much. With Trump's statement on Pakistan and India equates both of us, hasn't it ruined our years of efforts to dehyphenate India from Pakistan in global narrative stage?
Don't worry about it.
It has hampered Trump's tenure.
Yeah. Very true. Very true.
Somewhere down the line, the Republicans, the conservative Republicans have to give him a dressing down of what disaster he has been.
Next one, please.
Next election, Republicans
Narayan wants to know. Mahesh Narayan wants to know their next strategy would be to activate the Eastern Front via Bangladesh and attack from both East and West. Do we have enough air defense for both?
Oh, no, there'll be no attack. Don't worry.
Air defense hai, and as far as Bangladesh is concerned, our BSF is more than adequate.
Don't get carried away. There's going to be a major attack and war in the east. Nothing will happen.
You never had a war in Op Sindoor till now, yaar. ये तो अभी ट्रेलर ही दिखा के खत्म कर दिया आपने.
खत्म हो गया.
Ajinkya Rajput, thank you so much. Did Trump shoot his future arms sales to India, if any, by insinuating he'll try to dictate policy by leveraging trade? Thanks for all your services.
Yeah, definitely. That's a QED. Simple.
Not just the arms sales, even trade.
Saurabh Sabarwal, thank you so much. Pak getting special mineral water from Brahmaputra and Moscow River after IWT got cancelled.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Next one is 𝗤𝗍𝙗 Samwal. To teach Turkey, can't we tell of an Armenian genocide?
We should get after Bollywood to make a film. Let's make a film on it.
Thank you, 𝗤𝗍𝙗, and thank you, Mehul Shah. Besides optic, Trump has offered India nothing. He is hobnobbing with questionable people, deep state, well and truly alive, IMF loan to Pakistan, F-16 spares, and this. Sree Iyer, use your influence to help him understand anger in India.
Now it's on your shoulders, Sree Iyer ji.
You guys are overestimating my...
No, he's a Republican by nature. So he should,
Next question, please. Nisarg Avashia wants to know, thank you, Nisarg. I was wondering if it's possible that the rogue state was planning a radioactive jugaad as their contingency. They have claimed that in rhetoric that they have, in their parliament, new member, love your material. Oh, I think that's just... did they make some statement in the parliament, sir? Yeah.
They were talking about all that, but see, that is all they can do. Firstly, they have, since 86, they have shifted to teaching Sharia and Hadith of the 8th, 9th century. So the science they are teaching is of that. To think that they will be able to do any jugaad, shugad and all, I doubt it. The complete nuclear technology is made by the Chinese. Chinese people had also come. Now, all those people, 80s, 90s and early 2000s, they've all retired and gone. अब कौन बचा है बनाने के लिए? जुगाड़ करने के लिए भी दिमाग चाहिए होता है, जैसे कहते हैं ना, नकल के लिए भी अकल की जरूरत होती है. To be able to copy, you need brains to copy, so that you don't get caught. So I don't think, have they shown any jugaad? The only jugaad that they have shown, I'm sorry, they have shown their intercity trains. The coaches are open, and they have put benches on facing outside both, and that whole thing is drawn by a donkey. A set of 2-3 coaches drawn by a donkey. That is the jugaad I have seen, nothing else.
Thank you, Scout 77. Rich Jewish are part of the deep state. To get rid of deep state, you need to get rid of Jewish. That's why Trump said we no longer support Israel. What do you think, sir?
He's not supporting Israel because they are not listening to him, because they want to sort out the threat that is there. Everywhere these people want to create a counterbalance to somebody else. Right? The Gazans are being paid by the Americans. The Hamas was being paid by the Americans. So now they have said they are going in and they're going to destroy the Hamas. That's why he's worried that my counterbalance is gone. Why is he worried about you? At one stroke, you have removed the counterbalance that he had on the west. Now he's going to try to in the east. East ko to you can sort it out at any given point in time. He's sitting in Saint Martin. You take over like it said Rangpur, Rajshahi and Chittagong.
End of story.
That is end of story. Chapter closed. So don't look at the Jewish and all that. Jewish are there at part of deep state. There are so many others also part of deep state. Why are you only looking at Jewish? The entire old royal family of the Europeans are part of deep state. So what is it that you have against Jewish that you are saying the Jewish are part of this deep state, only taking them out? Bill Gates is not Jewish. He's part of deep state.
Brahmanand Tale wants to know, shall we be aware of the behavior of USA in this conflict, that USA is the real father of terrorism? Terroristan.
Original father of terrorism is USA only.
Where is the doubt?
Where's the doubt?
Next one, please. Yogendra, thank you so much. Sirs, was this not possible at Balakot time? We would have given a strong message then and saved lives.
No.
We were not strong enough. We were not strong enough internally. We didn't have that kind of economy. We didn't have the kind of things which had to be put in place. Okay.
And a lot of your own technology was still in the progress.
Still, yeah, it is in the progress because, 16, 17, you're just coming out of a time when you didn't have ammunition. You just finished making up your ammunition. A lot of holes which were there. And it was only after that progress was made.
Next one, Sree Kothari, thank you so much. General PRS, congrats are being designated hawk by PRC.
Thank you, Shrithik. Yeah.
That's a badge of honor.
Vignesh, thank you so much. Are we sure that putting Pakistan in its place will end Kashmir's insurgency for good, or are we missing something and having tunnel vision?
It cannot.
Yeah, please go ahead.
It is ideological, so you have to look at multi-domain, how to sort it out. It doesn't happen through only military action or kinetic or non-kinetic action. No? It will take time.
𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗥𝗏 wants to know, thank you, Jagga. Message from Modi ji to nation, 240 seats will only get you 4 days of fun. You want more 400 plus next time, 500 plus will give Kailash tour package.
Spoken like a true Daku.
Tushar wants to know, thank you, Tushar. Trump's greed and ego open him to MBS's manipulation.
The South Arabs are past masters in all this. Trump is new. That's why I was saying in another place, he wants to do trade with negotiations with India, and he's dealing with two Gujaratis who have thousands of years of trade in their DNA. Trump has just started all this and he thinks he knows. They'll spin him around like a toy. He won't know what hit him. Same with the Arabs. They are excellent negotiators.
Subramanya Chalmanda, thank you so much. If a state allows non-state actors to operate with no impunity, means that state has lost its sovereignty over its territory.
Oh, no. It's a state of, it's a terror state.
They're no non-state actors. They're all state actors.
State actors. The loan is giving 14 crore to the Masood Azhar tells you that it's a state-run terrorist factory and it's a state actors.
Next one, please. Ishan Bhatnagar wants to know, Pakistan naval exercise between 14th to 17th May, people being asked to store rations. Is Indo-Pak war coming? Zero economy has nothing to lose.
Hey, but with zero economy, you can't fight a war. This is all part of Pakistan showcasing that they can still do something they count. Internally, they are in the dumps. In fact, there are rumors that some of their ships went off to Oman.
Yep, two.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so, and, one of the, okay, let me tell you this. One naval friend of mine, I asked him, why didn't you guys do something and shoot down one odd, naval vessel, Pakistan naval vessel? He said, sir, how could we shoot down? All those taps were not available to be shot down. They had gone in. There are no targets.
They were gone in. Some had gone and hid in Gwadar, of the Chinese side of the Gwadar port. Some had gone to Oman. They were not there. This naval exercise, I believe, is because the people are very angry that Indian Navy has blockaded, not permitting our oil and other things to come. Where are you? So I think they were wanting to show this is there. I wonder where they have that much of fuel. Let's see how many ships come out.
General Rajiv, get a sip of water, sir. I think your throat is running a little bit dry. Agni-Punk, thank you so much. Future fight with China, how ready will we be for their latest equipment? It was old generation equipment in Pakistan.
No, whether it's no, I don't agree with the thinking at all. They have almost the same generation of equipment with Pakistan. Please remember, they gave the best equipment to Pakistan so that Pakistan can take on India. Unlike their sales to Africa or Bangladesh and all, where they could give all nonsense equipment. With Pakistan, they were very clear. And the inputs which are coming is the complete ISR of Pakistan was of China. And the Chinese
China,
were
correct,
there.
correct.
The Chinese were there
I
in
thought they
Pakistan.
quietly withdrew after day 2 or day 3.
They too, when they felt that their whole hand would come out, and they got scared that if some of us get killed and it comes out, so they went off.
Right.
Okay, so this was a proxy war against China also. That's why I kept saying we are fighting a two-front war. Throughout I was saying that this is a two-front war. Okay, so
ISR was being provided by their Beidou network. You destroyed all the earth stations in Pakistan. You destroyed all the earth stations in Pakistan. So now there is no network that he has.
Network.
It has to be made. China has to come and make it again.
Make it again. And then, for all this, you see, the biggest thing which has happened is, all things aside, the equipment which has failed in war, will you reuse it in war again? You won't. Okay, it's okay for Pakistan to use that equipment again. De do usko free maybe. Will you use it for your own defense? That's the problem with China today. That's why I said I'm very clear in my mind that China will not attempt anything for the next 4 to 5 years. That's the minimum, maybe more.
Next one, please.
Basically, if I will explain why that Gen Shankar had said he will not be able to. Total, he has 13 group armies. 2 in Western theater, 2 in Southern theater. 3 each in Eastern, Northern and Central theaters. Central theater is the reserve. Northern theater is opposite Russia. He can't move more than 1 or 2. Everything he has already deployed. The Southern, Eastern, the reserve from the Northern, the reserve from the Central, he is deployed on the Eastern seaboard. What he deployed against you, apart from the resources that were available in Xinjiang and Tibet, one whole group army out of the 2 group armies, one whole group army. Group army is a corps. With 1 corps, what offensive can you do? That is 6 combined arms brigade that he has. What offensive? That is the reason yesterday, I think, or day before, Gen Shankar had mentioned that he has gone on the defensive and he has put multiple tiers of defense line in Tibet.
Defensive.
Because for the first time, he is scared of your offensive coming in. And this time now, he will be more than certain, because we have now 4 strike corps available, out of which even if I leave 1 against Pakistan, it is more than enough. With 3 corps, 3 group armies you will go in. And he has only 1 group army to defend. And it is not a mountainous terrain that you will go into. After you clear the Himalayan mountains, it's all a tabletop plateau, plains. Not easy for the defender.
Pagoda, thank you so much. Great topic covered. Great mind talking. Thank you so much. Test user, please. Thank you so much. Trump warning to Pakistan to make deals with China. How will India trust US to be reliable? What impact it will have on a 10-year defense cooperation plan this year?
So deal with China, let's be clear. It's a 90-day pause. And there, all that he has done is from 245%, he has reduced it by 130%. That means, again, 245 minus 130. 115% is still there. And it's only 90 days to see what China does, because he also doesn't trust China.
Next
he
one,
can
please.
warm up to Pakistan till the cows come home. Now what can they give to him, or what can they do to you for at least next 10 years?
Thank you, Vamred. You have given 50 Gunnershot memberships.
Oh, wow. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Ravindra Mysore, for your super sticker. Thank you, Dr. Chetan. Thank you, Safe and Happy Period. Gratitude to army men, their families, and everyone that is giving their heart and soul in this fight. Salute, Sarika. Thank you so much. Next one, please. Vinod Kumar, thank you so much for your super sticker. Trumi Eyes, thank you so much. Rajesh Darsi, thank you for becoming new member. Saurav Roy, sir, how can we build our own stealth bomber like B2?
Very expensive. It will take time. It's very expensive to maintain also.
Sahil Mahajan, thank you so much. Sir, to hell with the West media. I have scrolled through many online comments. The people all over the world are happy. We are cleaning this dirty mess called Pakistan.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with you. People are happy, but the governments are not.
World over, people are happy. I've got calls from Canada. Can you believe it? Canada, US, Australia, UK, you name it. They are thrilled that you have sorted out this global font of terrorism.
Thank you so much, Nanjani, for your super sticker. Thank you, Rahul Barbara. What about PAF acquiring 𝗟𝗚𝗫𝗫 Su-57 in consideration?
You will never get. J35, let him get it. We knocked off J10, J17, we'll knock off the J35 also. No problem.
Thank you so much, Naresh Yadav, for your super sticker. Thank you so much, Rajesh Darsi, for giving 5 P-Gurus memberships. Thank you so much, Dr. MPC. Sir, what steps do you think Pak Army is taking after this defeat? Strategies, equipment, etc., considering their obsession with India?
Look, very honestly, first I think is regime survival. They have to survive. Okay. You know, if you see the history of Pakistan, after every war, they've gone through a period of political internal struggle. I don't think they'll be able to come back. So let us see how things go. We are we are still not off Sindoor. It's still in action phase. We just pause.
And
Next
the
question
first thing about learning from a defeat, I might add, is accepting that you're defeated.
Yeah, he's not accepting.
Yeah. Next one, please. Swaminathan wants to know, thank you so much, Swami. How important is it for the current dispensation to align with the pro-Pak and pro-China lobbies in India politically, or are we assuming the current government to play a long innings, or is it too early to think about it?
Why should we align with a pro-Pak or pro-China lobby?
Pro-China.
They are anti-India, so why should we be aligning with them?
Odd.
I have not understood
the next
purpose
question.
of the question.
Thought provocateur, thank you so much. Why don't we use thermobarics? Hey, Sindoor Bhavani.
Thermobaric, you have to be a bit careful because it takes out initially a plume as if it's a nuclear explosion. So when you're using it, you've got to be careful of how you use it. Yes, it is devastating, but it is the plume which people might start. You don't have the narrative control. People will start the narrative control that you
use the nuke. And also, it's a headache of ammunition. Handling it is difficult.
Not easy.
You are better off without using it. You're better off not having it.
Agnipank, we already answered this question. Pakistan never built nukes. It was all given from China through North Korea. Next one, please. Hemant Shah, thank you so much. Sree Iyer Ravi Shankar 𝗟𝗚𝗏 Rajiv ji, namaskar. Namaskar. Random user, thank you so much for your super sticker. The analyst wants to know, there are far more nationalists in this country than people like Prashant Bhushan. We are forever grateful for your service to our nation, generals. Thank you so much, the analyst.
Thank you.
And those number of nationalists are rising by the day. Yeah, may I add, nationalists are rising by the day.
Explore Unlimited, thank you so much. Ricky IIF was politically restrained from targeting Pak's ADS to avoid upsetting Western nations. We must prioritize neutralizing Pak ADS in future missions, regardless of external political pressure. Something like this happened?
We've done that. We've done that often. We've done that quite a bit.
The complete AD system, bhai. There's nothing left. There's nothing left. Like Jal Shankar had mentioned in one of his shows, is Nangu Pangu. Also is Nangu Pangu. There's nothing left.
Thank you, random user. Can India do some more deep research other than what the world is building using India's ancient texts, like using mercury for fuel?
Let's see.
We'll get there. Don't worry.
Jaydev Reddy, thank you so much. Extremely proud of our army. Would love to know if the army men have their opinions, if and how we can improve our performance in the next conflict.
It's an ongoing process.
When you say improve, what do you think you felt were the shortcomings? Improving is if you know the loophole. So trust the people in power that they would know. I agree that anything you do, you're not picture perfect. There will be shortcomings. So I'm sure they will be having their lessons learned and they will do the critique and revise all their SOPs and the battle drills and battle procedures. That's it. That's how you do.
𝗟𝗘𝗙𝗥𝗘𝗦, thank you so much. Did you want to add to that, sir, General Ravi Shankar?
No, that's okay. The lot we have to finish. I have to start another at 10 o'clock.
Oh, wow.
Oh, we need to finish. Okay. Okay. Dear sirs, correct me if I'm wrong. To protect Bharat, we must stay united culturally and politically. I hope our intelligence agencies are working on setting the narratives inside the population.
Yes.
Yeah. We should talk more than saying yes to the vote it.
Ajinkya Rajput, thank you so much. Is there any reaction in US Indian diaspora about Trump's actions? Thank you. Well, I'll find out. I'm in India right now. I got a first eye look at what was going on here. Fascinating. 𝗏𝗏 eyes, thank you so much. Sir, it looks like 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗘𝗏 even neutralize the hypersonic missiles in case one or two comes through and disable it. Hole in the shield?
Look, they never had a hypersonic. Let me clarify. They never had a hypersonic. You know, throughout these days, we never heard of a Pakistani or a Chinese hypersonic missile being deployed here. Out of the blue, today China has started talking of hypersonic. So you can imagine the amount of fakery which is going on. So don't fall for this news headlines which come out of the blue.
And I will just add one statement. 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗘𝗏 is not an air defense system. Just Google it and read it what 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗘𝗏 is.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, I have a special tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. about 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗘𝗏 to watch that one. 𝗟𝗘𝗙𝗪𝗏, thank you so much. And that brings us to a close of today's program. Thank you so much, General Ravi Shankar, General Rajiv Narayanan, and we'll be back again at a suitable date and time. Namaskar.
Namaskar.
Namaskar. Jai Bharat.